So, as part of your next micro-teaching, you might want to make a melodic contour map. And what is a melodic contour map? We've talked a little bit about this semester. Okay, so you saw the girl in the swing up here. What was that doing?
Like the bigger the picture or the longer the whole note.
Okay, so it had something to do with rhythm. What else did it have? Like it's a melodic contour map, so yes, there.
For me, it kind of looked like an alternative to like a staff, because the melody went up and down. It had different sizes for the different notes.
Yes, so it's depicting where that melody is moving. Thank you. I guess Sarah's the only one that's awake this morning. So a melodic contour map just shows the shape of the melodic line. That's all it's doing. Now you can get a little bit more specific like I did with the swing and have rhythmic contour. Who has their book on them? Will you all please get your textbooks out really quick? Everyone should have that every day, right? Can I see it really quick, Tiffany? Thank you. Okay, everyone turn to page 43 in the textbook really quick. If you don't have your textbook, please share with somebody that does, so you can see it. Has anybody picked the Five Green and Speckled Frogs song? Okay, good. You can just look over their shoulders there. I'm glad I'm not giving points for bringing textbooks today. All right, so you should come to class with your materials every single day, just like it says in your syllabus. All right, so 5 green speckled frogs. Say this with me, 5 green and speckled frogs.
5 green and speckled frogs.
Sat on a speckled log.
Sat on a speckled log.
Eating some most delicious bugs, yum yum.
Eating some most delicious bugs, yum yum.
Good. And it goes like this. 5 green and speckled frogs, sing that back to me and go. 5 green and speckled frogs. My turn. Sat on a speckled log.
Sat on a speckled log.
Eating some most delicious bugs, yum yum.
Eating some most delicious bugs,
Yum, yum. Okay, so that's kind of how the melody goes. There's lots of what in there? Steps, skips, or repeated notes. There's lots of what?
Steps.
Steps. Bum, 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 bum. That's good. Bum, bum. What are those type of notes? Skips. So that's like da, 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 dun, dun. So every phrase ends with what?
A skip.
A skip, right. So turn the page. And you will see some frogs listed on, what's the page number, Tiffany? 43?
44.
44. On page 44, there are some frogs there. Tell me what those frogs are for. What?
To show rhythm.
To show rhythm. And why would it not be to show melody?
Because they're not.
Because they don't go up and down. So do you see how it says small frog, big frog, small frog? So it's short, long, short, 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 long. Or 5 green and speckled frogs. Or tee-ta, tee-tee-tee-ta. Do you see how those are working? So you could do a rhythmic map like this. You could have done that for your micro teach. I didn't teach you how to do that because I felt like it's kind of, you can figure that out on your own. So for melodic contour, those frogs must go where? Up and down, okay? So if I had to show a picture of those frogs, it might look something like this. I'm just going to draw X's for frogs because I can't draw. So, well actually, you tell me. 5 green and spare. Give me how those should look. Bum, 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 bum. So this starts right here. Bum. Next note is what?
Same.
Same. Bum, bum. Higher. Bum. Bum. Same note. Bum, 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 bum. The next note is bum, bum. Where should those X's go? Lower. Bum, bum. Yeah? Makes sense? All right. The next phrase is bum, 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 bum. So it's going to go higher. Bum. Next note.
Same.
Bum. 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 So it's the exact same what? Shape. It's the exact same shape. Just we start on a different what? Pitch or note. Okay? Does that make sense? So this is how I create a melodic contour note. I can also do this. I want to throw this out the window.
Is this bad as most boards in elementary schools, or is this just?
I was working in the armpit of the Bronx, okay? And my equipment was better than this. Anyways, so you can also do this. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sing that, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
1, 5, 1.
1, 5, 1.
1, 5, 1.
1, 5, 1.
Good. Come on. This is the only way it'll move. Okay, so you might want to get to where you can see that. All right, I have drawn a melody up here. And the last note is what? C. Typically, the last note in a piece of music is 1, the number 1, the tonic note, the one that you always go to. Okay? So if this is also a what? C. C. What is this note?
G.
G. What number is that? Let's count up. C. Next note, number 2 would be what? D. So this would be 1, 1, 6, 6,
5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1.
Good. If I said, hey, sing this back to me. 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. Sing that.
1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5.
Listen to me. Da, 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 da. Talk to your neighbor and figure out what's the next phrase in numbers. Go for it. It goes 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. What's the next note? Is it higher or lower? Da. It's lower by how much? 1. So we go. What is it? Sing it to me.
1, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1.
You got it.
We're so smart.
Experiential learning right there, yes? Would that be a lot more difficult for a second grader?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Would it be developmentally appropriate for a second grader?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. All right. Oh, gosh. So sing this to me. Here we go. So here's your micro teach in its entirety. All right? So, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. I just did what for you?
Sang the whole song.
Sang the whole song. And then instead of saying that, we're going to use some teacher talk, and we're going to say, I modeled for you. The next thing that you're going to do for your micro teach is you're going to chunk the information. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. star.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
And I would do the same thing for the entire song, just like that. And then we would all sing together at the end. Yes, Liz?
Do you mind telling us again, sorry I know you told us last time, but how many bars does it need to be?
At least 16.
16
Yeah.
in 4/4 time.
Correct.
Okay, and if it's in something else?
And if it's like an 8-bar song with 2 verses, that's okay.
Okay.
All right?
So 16 bars.
Yeah. All right. So I just modeled the whole song. I chunked the information into little bits and I chained it together. Makes sense? Just like we did what? The rhythmic poem. So just you're going to introduce it like that. Okay? So if there's certain points in the song where you would say, okay, if it's kind of a difficult song like the 5 green and speckled frogs, I might just have this already mapped out so they can see it. It's just the same pattern, just up some notes. It just starts on a different note. So that's how you can use a melodic contour map. Another way that you can use a melodic contour map is through experiential learning, just like we did right here. So I had it mapped out for you. Tell me what it is in numbers and solfege syllables if you want to go fa, fa, mi, mi, re, re, do. If you're used to that, that's fine with me. Do, do, so, so, la, la, so, fa, fa, mi, mi, re, re, do. You can do that. That's fine with me. You don't have to. Numbers are much easier for who? For you all, okay? And somebody asked me the question last class, which I thought was really good. So they asked me, like, when do you use numbers and when do you use those curve and hand? These are called curve and hand signs. And it's the same effect, right? Like this is 1, this is do, do, okay? And it depends on how much time. I think these are much better to use if I have time, because these show where it goes on your body and also a lot of the times show vowel shape. Do, round do, re, drop jaw, mi, nice and straight but not sideways, fa. Also shows tendency tones, which for you musicians out there, tendency tones are fa wants to resolve to mi, they're a half step apart, so it points down to where it wants to go, fa, mi, re, do. And we have another tendency tone called ti, do. All right? Yes, ma'am?
But like, if everyone in the, like, for our purposes, for micro teaching, we would use those because, like, not everyone knows them, right?
I don't
So
mind if you use them. I think that if you are the teacher, you decide that.
Would we have to, like, do, like, a short, like, show them the stuff?
No. No. Just come to class thinking that they already know solfege or thinking that they already know numbers. You only have 7 to 10 notes.
Okay.
Hey, that's okay. Thanks, Ellie. Yeah. So, but, I mean, I did not use solfege when I was teaching in the Bronx because I only saw them once a week for 45 minutes. And regardless of what language was the first language that they spoke, most of them knew their numbers to 7 or 8, right? So I kind of use that as kind of the universal access tool. Okay. So, what are some other ways to incorporate experiential learning in your micro-teach for next week? So we talked about mapping it out melodically. You could have them map it out with their bodies. You could say, figure out a way to show that with your hands, that last phrase. So, twinkle, twinkle, little star, show me where your hands would go for those. Show me. Okay, so you went like this, so it's, you know, it's a descending pattern. What if I asked you to place your hands like this? See what I'm doing here? So show me what it would be for, how I wonder what you are. So everyone's going like this. Is that right? I think so, because these are what?
Notes.
These are notes that are what? What do we call these kind of notes that do this? Repeated notes. Repeat, step down, Pete, finalized. Okay, so that's where we're back to 1. All right? So if I ask you to map out 5 green and speckled frogs, so it goes, 5 green and speckled frogs, step on a speckled frog. Could you do that? Show me with your hands where that goes. 5 green and speckled frogs. Where is that going to go in your hands? 5 green and speckled frogs. Sing that with your hands. Here we go. 5 green and speckled frogs. And we're going to go speckled frogs because those are what kind of notes?
Skip.
Skip. And then if I said, do the next one, sat on a speckled log, where would you start that? Sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Do that. Eating some most delicious bugs. What's different about that? It goes up a little bit at the end, right? Yum, yum. Okay, so that's one way. So you could also use numbers if you wanted to. Tell me the pitch numbers that go along with that song. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. Figure that out in groups. You could have it like do it that way if you wanted to. If you had a really complicated song with a lot of words that it took a little bit longer to teach, you can do it that way. Okay. You could also map that out as you're singing so that students know where that melody line's going. So if I was teaching 5 green and speckled frogs, I would probably teach it like this. 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. And so I would show you where that melody line is going to help you out. Okay? So think about that when you're getting ready to micro-teach. What are some other ways to incorporate experiential learning when teaching a song? We talked about it a little bit last week. We did it last week. Yeah. So having them make up movements to go along with the lyrics of the song. Okay?
And then we would still like kind of like chunk and chain that.
Yes.
Like again.
Yeah.
And we can go through that a second time.
Or if you had a song, there's a lot of different ways you could approach this. Okay? If you had a song with a lot of words, think about what I did with Shake the Papaya Down. I didn't sing that for you at first. What did we do? We learned the, not quite first yet. I spoke it for you. And then I learned the motions. Because there was a lot of words in that song, right? So I knew that trying to sing and remember the words was not going to work out very well because there was a lot of words there. So that's why I decided, okay, I'm going to teach you the rhythm first, have you do motion so it helps you remember the words, that way you can focus on what? The pitches later. All right, so you can do it that way if you want to.
So you can do kind of whatever way.
You can do whatever way you want using the techniques that we've explored in this class.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? I leave that up to you. However, I'm just trying to give you some more tools because some songs really lend itself well to certain things. Like 5 Green and Speckled Frogs is a counting song. So it goes, 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs, yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool, then where were 4 green speckled frogs, plop, plop. 4 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log. So it's a counting song. So I probably wouldn't have them make up motions for that because it's super repetitive. So my experiential part for that would probably be something with a melodic contour map, so they can figure out where that line is going. Okay? Even if it was for pre-K, they can still do that.
Sorry, last thing, but the melodic contour map, is that considered experiential?
Not if you have it already. The way that I used it on Friday, no.
But what you just did
But what I just did right there, yes.
Okay.
So if you had frog cut, like say if you cut out frogs, and you had them like bigger frogs and smaller frogs for note values, and say, hey, can you figure out, here's group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, can you figure out how this would go on the floor?
Okay.
Show me where the melody's going. That's totally experiential.
And
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't have to do motions or anything.
Right,
Okay.
yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So my question would be for the melodic contour map is if you said, okay, how would this first line go, and then you had them come up and put it on the board, or whether with the frogs, or they told you when you wrote it out, would you teach the song first? So you'd model, chunk, teach
I would yes.
and then you do
and then I do the melodic
and
contour.
that's a visual for them if they're not already getting it.
Right.
Okay, but so you can't do the melodic contour map until you've already taught the melody.
Right.
Okay.
It's a reinforcement of that concept, where that line is going.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not like it's not like when we were doing it before with the poems and we were saying, okay, figure out tas and titis, and we hadn't gone over it already.
Right.
Okay.
So here, on Friday, I used the melodic contour map to teach the melody.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it that way.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like this,
Okay.
Liz. You can have the melodic contour map already up and ready to go to help teach the melody if I was teaching like movement with 5 green and speckled frogs, which I probably wouldn't do because it's super repetitive, I might already have the melodic contour map up and on the board.
Okay.
Okay? so that I can just say bum 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 bum. Lots of skips there. Bum 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 bum. So follow along with that so you know where the melody's going.
But
now,
that's not experiential.
that's not experiential because it's just as an aid for them to figure out the melody.
Okay.
Okay? So, and children are able to sing songs that are much harder than they can figure out the tas and ts or where the melody's going. Does that make sense? They're able to echo that at a much younger age. So,
yeah, of course.
like 4 4 3 3 2 2 1, probably not going to do it in pre-K, but they could sing that.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, we can probably hum some Bach songs, but we definitely can't play them or figure them out. Like.
Well, you probably could.
But like, it would be something that we would like. You'd have to think about it.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So
then, if you were to do the melodic contour map for, like you did the other day, where you already had it up and we just use it as an aid, what would you use it as an experiential learning then?
Experiential learning for that activity was the instruments.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that's what it was.
Which we can't do.
And also, which you cannot do.
Yeah.
Yet. And remember how we made up, I told the story about how the chain detached from the bars and we went over what would you see, so that like there was developing some kind of point of reference for the lyrics in the song.
And that's experiential.
That's experiential.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm giving students a problem to solve. And keep in mind that like when I say problem solving, I don't mean like 1 + 1 is 2. I mean thinking critically about what's happening in the lyrics or the music.
Okay, so if we already had a melodic, sorry, I have so many questions.
No, it's fine. I'm sure like you're not the only person that wants to know.
If we had a melodic contour map already up, but we said, okay, show me like on your body now, steps and skips, like so we had it as an aid and then we had them do this, is that experiential? No, yeah.
It's kind of
You've already introduced it. What is it, Morgan?
Isn't it kind of already up there for them to see?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, unless you did it this way and you left a phrase out. You had the melodic contour map already up there, and maybe it could even be a repeated phrase, but that's still a concept in music, knowing when phrases repeat and when they don't. What sounds the same and what sounds different. We're still working on that as adults, right? So if I had all of this song up on the board, and I said, the very last phrase is, so it goes, 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs, yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. This phrase is not on the board. Then there were 4 green speckled frogs, which is bum ba da 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 4 4 5 4 3 2 2 1 or whatever the numbers are. So I can leave that phrase off and say, hey, could you figure out how to map this one phrase out? Because it's just stepwise motion, which is much easier than trying to do this.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, could we do melodic and then say, okay, figure out where there are steps and figure out where there are skips, or is the melodic contour map also kind of already telling you that?
The melodic contour map's already telling you that.
Okay.
It should,
Okay.
at least.
If it's done correct.
Right.
Okay.
So if I had you show me on your bodies where that melody line is going. So sing and show me. So here's the starting note. Twinkle,
Twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you
keep on going.
up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
So you can do that now,
That
right?
was so awkwardly quiet.
I know.
I was just like, I don't know
Yeah,
if I
stand up and do it. Let's
should-
do a
if I
different
should
song,
clap or
actually.
sing or-
Remember that song? It goes. How would you like to go and swing up in the air so woo? Sing that with me, ready and go. How would you like to go up and swing?
Up in the air so blue.
Good. Here's the first step. How? Figure out where that melody is going. How would you like to go up in a swing? Figure that out with a partner. Go.
The swing is
Yes, or the-
give you a hint, these are all step notes, so your hand should not be jumping around a lot, right? Yeah. Okay, let's figure it out. Natalie, what have you got? Just show me your hands.
Okay.
I'm going to follow your hands.
Oh, okay. I can't do this.
No, you don't have to speak it. Show me with your hands.
Okay.
Is that right?
No.
Okay, listen to the first word. Show me with your hands that right there. Yeah. So, how would you like? Show me that. To go. To go. Are we going down now or up?
Don't know.
Listen.
Down.
How would you like to go? Where should I go?
So down.
To go. And the next one is up in a swing. So we're going just back and forth in those notes. So show me with your hands how this melody goes. And the reason I did that is because that way you know that this right here means the same note if it's on the same level. So if I'm going da 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 da, right? So if I went, how would you like to go up in a swing? Try that with me. 1, 2, and ready, go.
How would you like to go up in a swing?
Do it again. Ready?
How would you like to go up in a swing?
The next part is,
Up in the air so blue.
and that's a big what?
Jump.
Jump or skip, right? Have a seat. So as you're teaching the song, you could be going that list too. That's part of the melodic contour map thing.
Okay.
We could, it's a visual aid to know where the melody is going, right? So we have about 20 minutes left. Morgan, if you will stop that video recording, please.